Is with me this morning, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So I'm going to have you go first.
Okay. I'm Ashley Karkinen, an early literacy coach with Menominee ISD.
And I am Kelsey Harold, also an early literacy coach through the ISD.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for coming on in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, I'm excited because this stuff is so cool that you guys are doing. I mean, we talked a little bit off air, but I can't wait to get into the little meat and potatoes of this. But so what have you guys been doing as literacy coaches? I imagine this is pretty busy. I mean, is there a lot that you guys do? Tell me about it.
Yeah, one really exciting thing that we do as literacy coaches is try to apply for grants. Ashley's an amazing grant writer. And in the past few years, we've had about 100 IMSE vouchers that the ISD has received in the local districts.
Wow.
And that has been, the training that we have provided has been at about $147,000 value.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's all in regards to literacy. Wow. So pretty amazing work.
That is.
Yeah. A lot of money spent on them.
Yes.
So that's all professional learning, and that was for, early literacy, and we were able to include some special education teachers with that. It's multi-sensory, systematic instruction, so it's really exciting. It was the first time they were ever in the UP to do an in-person training, which for 2 years in a row we got that. With and actually NWTC was a great partner and gave us space, so we really thank them a lot. Another grant that we got, we were kind of really deep into grants for a while.
Hey, that's good though.
Yes.
I mean,
State of Michigan had a lot of things available. So another one that we received, we were really pleasantly surprised, was called an Innovative Library Grant. It was $125,000, which was really big. And what was really cool about that was that library was really meant to be innovative. So it meant school libraries, it meant classroom libraries, it meant public little library spaces, it meant anything that really provided access to literacy that other people could have free to them.
Those little free libraries.
Yeah, everything. So we were able to work with the community libraries, SPEES, and the Menominee County Library.
Oh, nice.
So they updated a lot of things in their facilities with the money that we were able to give to them, including, SPEES completely made a new teen room, and that was fully funded, I believe, through the grant. A lot of cool activities for the county library as well. Shelving and a movie projector with their book club groups and things like that. It was really fun to work with them. And we were able to provide books for every classroom, K-5, including special education rooms in the entire county. Yeah. So that was about 6,100 books that we put into those classrooms, which was really exciting for us.
That's
equitable.
Probably as many books
Four
as
different
I have.
districts. Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
We also, with the Innovative Library Grant, when we everything was settling, we were able to award 5 mini grants to teachers that we had apply. So they were $1,000 each, where they could do things. It was for their classroom library environment.
Oh my goodness.
So they could get books, but we were providing that. So we wanted them to really branch out. Like, what does your library space need in your room? Do you need comfy seating? Do you need lighting? Do you need bins? Whatever. So we got some really cool applications for that. And so that was across the county as well.
And what teacher doesn't want
money
to
put their classroom library? And the other things that we worked on with the Innovative Library Grant was the school libraries. And so Menominee, I work with Menominee, and Kelsey works in the county. They were able to get so many cool features, seating and new books, and actually the county libraries really established with your help.
North Central actually was able to keep a library. Some smaller school districts are getting away from a school library and just kind of putting it more in the classrooms. And
really?
North Central was able to get a whole library situated with some help from some other organizations. So
that is wonderful.
Really
that
amazing.
breaks my heart to hear that they would have a whole
I
library.
Thankfully in the county, the Menominee County Library does a bookmobile.
Oh, it's still good.
Oh, it's amazing.
We always had a bookmobile because
So
I graduated from
bookmobile
Felch. So, we always had a bookmobile.
Their bookmobile is amazing too. If you haven't seen it, please reach out to them. They do their events.
They come to you.
They come to you, and it's incredible.
Oh, how wonderful!
It's a great service.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. So we've had quite a few grants. We've had a
Lots of money spent.
We had one for diverse classroom libraries
Oh, I
that
love
teachers
it.
got to do. They got some professional learning, and then we were able to provide them with a fresh crop of books for their classroom. And then a really cool feature of that grant was that every book that we purchased as a part of the grant for a teacher's classroom library, we matched it. It was a requirement to match to the school library
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So every kid in the school had access to those diverse books, not just those ones of the classroom teachers who participated in the grant, which was really cool. So
goodness.
everybody got a little bit of the fun there.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, we've had some really. What was the other one I was just thinking of? Oh yes, and we've applied for some. They're called OER, which that name is escaping me right now. It's open educational resource, which means like the curriculum materials are free, but then it's like contributed to throughout. Think of like Wikipedia, but research based.
Yeah.
Okay.
got
So
it.
it goes through a vetting process, and it's research based, and the idea is to share these materials for free, so that it's not an equity issue of access.
Right.
So we were able to apply for some grants to support the, they might give you lesson plans, but you still have to buy the texts.
Yeah.
You have to buy the science materials. You have to do whatever it is. So we were able to get a few of those grants through the ISD as well, and then support local districts in submitting their own applications, so that we could help them support getting those materials that they actually need to implement those open ed resources, which was really exciting.
That is. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So much exciting stuff.
We're busy.
Yes. Oh, you're not just sitting around. Well, maybe writing grants.
No.
So, what about community connections, or do you still have more stuff that you're doing as coaches? I mean, you guys are doing enough already. Anything more that you want to share?
You can tell me.
I was just going to say.
Right?
I was just going to say that we do work in schools full time during the day.
Yeah.
This is like in addition to.
In addition to everything else
the
that you guys are
day-to-day
doing.
is supporting the teachers, who then support the students.
Oh wow.
From the support of administrators. But this is just kind of the add-on fun stuff
That you guys get
that
to
we
do.
get to do too.
Oh my gosh.
We've poked our nose in.
Yeah.
I know how that
A little
goes.
too far. As far as community, I am on the Early Literacy Council with that group. They are also out of the ISD, and they are an amazing group. They do reading adventure nights at Spees Library.
Oh.
We brought some, and the Menominee County Library, and they brought an event up to North Central too, which was a really new first-time event. So that was great. It was a huge turnout, and that was the other group that supported North Central's library to get up and running.
Good.
And a whole project. It's beautiful. Books, shelves, rugs, rocking chair.
The software, that was a huge lift. Like putting all the inventory in.
Yep.
I imagine getting them current.
Yeah, so they were a huge. They helped make that project a success.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, and then another area that we work with is just to keep all the districts connected is we have literacy leader meetings.
Oh.
So title teachers in the building or title paras and administrators and ISD staff are all welcome. We meet once a month. Well, typically once a month, sometimes every other month. And just kind of go over how kids are doing, what support are we giving, to give them training on research-based best practices. So it's kind of unified across the whole county of the support that these kids are getting.
That's awesome.
Which makes for an easy transition because we know kids jump school districts, and it's a very nice, seamless process. We keep kind of ironing out and fine-tuning to just make sure everything is up to snuff. So that's been really a really nice relationship building that we've created amongst the districts.
And our jobs are as a result of a grant in the state of Michigan for literacy, early literacy, read by grade 3, and this dyslexia legislation that has just passed. And so all of that is how we come to be. And so our job is to really make sure that these essential instructional practices are being used in the districts. And so for us having these literacy leader meetings, that's what's really made it possible for us to really get some cohesion with the curriculum and the training. And so Kelsey and I have volunteered to be the sacrificial workhorses of the material management for the districts, because it's a really big lift, and we have small school districts where people wear many hats, and so we're kind of going wherever we can to support better literacy practices for all of the students in our communities. So we've done that, and we've both made our appearances at the school reading nights and helping with like the Title I nights, the community engagement in the local districts to make sure that we're sharing things with parents and that they're getting engaged and involved, which is really what it's all about.
Oh, definitely.
We have one of the things in Menominee in particular is, the county has the bookmobile, which will come to you. And in Menominee, we have access to so many great things, but sometimes, parents work and kids are at daycares in the summer and things like that. And so we have great resources, but sometimes the kids can't get to it.
No.
So SPEES has been a wonderful partner for us for the last 5 years. I've helped with the local Menominee YMCA, the DAR, and the summer school program, working with them to have busing, to be able to go to summer school. And then the other thing would be SPEES Library working with me with the DAR and the Y to provide weekly read-alouds that go with their themes.
Yeah.
And so instead of the kids missing out on the summer reading program, SPEES has really made it possible that not only do they provide books every week that they swap out for those locations for kids to do their own individual reading, they provide read-alouds that go with the theme for the staff, and then they go every week so that even though the kids can't maybe come to the event at SPEES, somebody's still coming so they can get their weekly tokens and all this stuff through the program. And so that partnership is amazing, and there's more to come, I'm sure. But a lot of those things, we've gotten to get in the mix a little bit, and it's really them who keeps it going, and we're just asking like, hey, could we make this possible? Yeah, what can we do?
We've been able to bring, for the Reading Adventure Nights, literacy components into those, which has been a cool thing too, and have had pretty good feedback too.
That is so cool.
Trying to kind of dip into wherever we
Yeah.
can.
And our GSC is a Great Start Collaborative. They've had trainings for parents and daycare providers that they pay them to do. And those have been really cool because they've even reached out to us on that. So like some parents were like, hey, this was really great. Let's get a 2.0. So 2.0 was more about the academic stuff. Like how can we start talking about the alphabet and letter sounds and blah, 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 those types of things.
Right.
So they've consulted us, and we've been able to provide training for that. We've been able to provide professional learning for our local libraries. So this is all on our after
all
hours,
that free time that you
after
have.
dark kind of work, I guess.
Kind of like the free time I have.
Yeah, but it's really exciting, and we have kids and of this age, so they benefit and are
They're just always in tow with us.
Yeah.
Going to
And
these
it's
events
nice to see when they're older, because sometimes you feel like you're forcing them. At least with some of my kids. I mean, my husband and I have 7 kids that we're empty nesters now, but some of them took to reading. They loved it.
Yeah.
Others, not so much. And it was like pulling teeth every time you had to, do your weekly reading or daily reading or whatever it was. And so now that they're older, there's about 5 of them that read religiously, and then you have the 2 that...
It's a pretty good percent.
It is. It is.
Well, and I think that what Ashley was saying about the diverse libraries too, like I feel like that's been a really big goal of ours, is we don't want a kid to say, I don't like reading. Like we will find you a book that you will like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or a format, and that's been a really big thing.
Manga is huge.
Well, and like we have to expand our mind on what is reading and literacy, because we know there's so many different types of literacy, right? And for us, it's not just like having the text that you can read and you enjoy, but like finding a topic that you're interested in, or maybe you actually really like listening to books.
Exactly.
Or and all of those things are reading. Those are separate from literacy development, but literacy for enjoyment. You get it however you can, and it's enriching however you get it. And so whether it's comics or or ebooks or audiobooks
podcasts,
or whatever it is. All of those things are really fruitful.
So I'm like 75% deaf, right? And we've always watched TV with the subtitles on.
Oh, yeah.
And I told someone their child is young, and they were talking about reading and this, that, and how they read and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, turn the subtitles on your TV. And they're like, started laughing at me. I said, don't laugh at me. If they're going to watch that TV, they're going to learn how to read. Yeah. Turn the subtitles on. You think about it. I mean, and our kids, they learned how to read very young, but the subtitles were...
It's really interesting.
The subtitles.
In classrooms, though, it's really interesting because there's a lot of videos, that we use for all sorts of things in the curriculum. And it's interesting. kids will have preferences about like, can you turn the subtitles on? And some people are like, I don't like the subtitles, but they already know they have so much more access to this assistive or just, their preference of support.
Exactly.
And it's great that they have the choice.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish I had like subtitles when I was younger. I would have watched TV with subtitles. It doesn't bother me, but other people, they're like, oh God, I didn't watch that. I see all that stuff everywhere.
Well, once you start, then you can't
Then
stop.
You can't stop.
Yeah.
It's
Cannot
like Pringles.
stop. It's like, yes, and I'll go visit like my mom or something and she doesn't have, it's like subtitles.
Yeah.
But, so if anybody has questions about literacy, or if they just want information about it, or they want to talk to you guys, how do they go about that? Who do they call, or can they email somebody, or what do they do? Go
We
online,
have
or?
the mc-isd.org website is our ISD's website, and there's contact forms there. There's a lot of information about the other groups that we talked about today too, the GSC and the ELC. So that's a great place to start. Another thing, if you are interested in the whole, how did we get these literacy coaches and what's the scoop behind that, there is a website called literacyessentials.org, and this has birth to grade 12 essential practices, activities, videos, free professional learning. The state of Michigan has really, really developed a great research-based and ongoing revision resource for everybody. I mean, we have people who we know are using this internationally.
Wow.
So it's a
that's
great
wonderful.
resource, and that's what is really our backbone and what our mission is, to support those essential instructional practices. So those are two great places to start.
All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you guys for coming in. This stuff is like right up my alley.
Ours
So
too.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love me some books. I'll have to tell you about how many I have. So it's an addiction. A good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But thank you. And I invite you back to tell us more of what you guys are up to too. So but we'll talk about that later. So
Yeah, we can't wait.
I know, right?
What's up next for us?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
we
dun.
are very excited.
All right, ladies. Thank you again.
Thank
And
you.